Whew. If you are feeling the weight of trying to keep it all together, welcome. Welcome to Doing It All. I am Rebecca Francis, and this podcast, Doing It All, is all about unpacking chaos, joy, growth that comes with being a multi-passionate person. I want this episode to be all about how we got here. How did we get to this place of even starting a podcast? We know a lot of people are starting podcasts, have a lot to say. And I'm joining that group of people because there are some people like me that are looking for a community of people that maybe don't necessarily niche down in life, but have a multi-passionate mindset or identity. So if we had to identify as something, I'd say I am Rebecca Francis and I am a multi-passionate person. I am not good at picking one thing. I probably will never be good at picking one thing, but I also realize that that can be the downfall of my true success. And so if that is you, you are looking for that community, but you want to make sure that you continue to evolve and not feel wore out, wore down, and not able to push forward because you are so driven that one thing at a time is making it hard for you to get one thing done, you have arrived at your community because we will not, I repeat, we will not be the type of people that say we're going to do all of these things and can't complete one thing because there are too many things on our plate. You can absolutely be the multi-passionate person and get it done, be a little delusional, have a little bit of audacity, and build the life that you really want to build. So if that is you, welcome. You have found your community, and we are getting ready to go on a wild journey because every moment of being a multi-passionate person is not exciting. It's just not. It's not exciting. It's not motivating. There are days that anxiety hits me extremely hard, but I've also identified the root cause of each one of those things. We're going to go down this journey of identifying what the root cause is. In my current career as a consultant, I do a lot of root cause analysis and growth development for organizations, leadership development. And one of the things that I had to take a step back on is saying, okay, you want to help everybody else, but you need to help yourself. You need to think about what is causing these things in your life and what is holding you back from living the dreams that you truly want to execute. I had to ask myself that. And when I started to ask myself that, I'm like, you know what? I am tired of holding it all together. And so if you're that person and you have just come to the conclusion that I am no longer going to try to hold it together or look like I'm holding it together, I am actually going to modify my life, realign, reestablish some things, which is where my rebrand came from. And that'll be part 2 of this session, is talking about where and how we got here. And then also talking about how we're going to rebrand some things and realign some things to live the life that we really want to live, do it in a way where we don't feel burned out and we actually feel happy doing it. I want to show up to the life that I want to live happy. I don't want to feel exhausted to the point where I don't want to show up tomorrow because I did not set my day up or my week up in a way that I feel productive. And I don't want to be overly productive where the schedule also wears us down. And so if that is you, this is a community for you. We're going to have fun with this. I am choosing joy in every aspect of my life. I am scheduling joy as if it is on my calendar because I realize that when you are a multi-passionate person, it is also very difficult, extremely difficult to accomplish tasks when your mind is racing a million miles a minute. Or as I say, if you have 1,001 tabs in your head and you don't know which one to click next, that's not good. And those kinds of people tend to find themselves moving slower, and that makes sense for how we got here. So let's talk about how I actually got here. I remember sitting in the car at my office building before I was going in, and I was just reflecting on something someone had said to me. They made the comment that you just do a lot. I don't know how you do all of this. Another person has said to me before, you got so many jobs, you do all these things. And it may come off as a compliment to some, right? Where it's like, oh, she can do all these things. But as I was reflecting and even maybe a little convicted, it's like, well, actually, it kind of feels like in some ways, what I'm hearing, I'm not saying that this is what somebody means, but what I'm hearing is that I need to pick something. I need to pick one thing. I need to think through one thing at a time and just do that. So I started to sit down one day and reflect on, okay, well, what things can I eliminate so that I can actually focus on one thing at a time? That was extremely hard for me to sit and think through one thing at a time because I have so many things on my plate that God has called me to do. So let's kind of talk through that really quickly and put yourself into my position, because if you are a multi passionate person, you are going to find yourself thinking through all of the things you have to do, and it's going to feel overwhelming. You're going to have to think through this with me as I tell you about my 1,000,001 task. You're going to have to write this out. Grab a piece of paper, because I did write down right here all the jobs that I have to do and which ones I could possibly eliminate versus the ones that I could not. So grab a piece of paper and let's just start writing down. It is very easy to get something done when you can just see it on paper. First, this journey began when I realized that I had a bunch of roles and I could not eliminate them. You can't eliminate being a mom. I've been a mom since I was 21 years old. That is not something that I can eliminate. I have to be a good mom, and I value being a good mom. I value being a present mom. And if you are a mom out there, then you know that takes up a lot of time. I don't care if you got one kid or if you got 5 kids. And as you know, the more active children are, the older they get, the more sports they're in. Your kids take up a lot of time. I can't stop being that. I have to make sure they're nutritious, or I'm cooking at home and making sure that they are healthy. There are so many elements to being a mom. So we know we can't eliminate that. I had to just keep moving on. I can't stop being a wife. And I have an ambitious husband too. So I am not just at home. We are building empires after work. We have the SOAR Awards, as many of you know, and those that are new to this platform, check it out. The SOAR Awards is our baby as well. It has been built from the ground up for many, many years. And I serve as the vice president and the operations of the SOAR Awards, which is a very big task that I thoroughly enjoy. And so that has been something that I've grappled with over years. Like, well, maybe I should step back from that role so that I can focus in on this. But honestly, I just can't. It's something that I really enjoy. And as we're still in the building stages of it, some of the roles in which I do are critical to the growth and development of our show. So I'm thinking, okay, well, I'm not going to quit that. We have a church. My husband is a pastor, and as I was thinking through the church, I've already tried stepping back from the church before, and I don't feel good about it. I'm not that type of person. I'm the type of person that if I'm in something or I'm at something, or in this case, my husband is leading something and I can support, or I have the skill set, I am going to find a way, even if it's not me doing the biggest project in the church. And in some cases, if you're a multi-passionate person, then you know that you kind of go overboard even when you don't mean to. I realized that I couldn't stop being the pastor's wife and helping. And so I had to identify as the pastor's wife what that meant for me. And so being the pastor's wife at the church meant that I showed up and how I show up for my company, which is really being more of the strategic partner. So now you have being a mom, you have being a wife, a ministry leader. And then if we were to just keep adding on to that, I'm a business owner. I own my own company. And in this season, it's been really difficult to maintain my company and has been very difficult to pivot emotionally. And so when you're a multi-passionate person, sometimes you'll just say, oh, I'll just go do something else. But in this case, I wasn't able to master in this season saying, I'm just going to go do something else, because I really thoroughly enjoy everything that I do at Ignite Change Solutions. If you're that type of person that is in a pivoting season, this podcast will be for you, because we'll be talking a lot about how we pivot, not just in business, but when life hits you really hard and you have to identify how to pivot, because it will make you sad if you don't figure out how to pivot. And we know that sadness for a multi-passionate person is just wasted time. Aside from those things that I just told you, I'm also grappling with how I serve my community, because I think that is really important to serve in the community. So I serve on several boards that I feel like I have not been my best self at. Really, really value my integrity and what I say I'm going to do. And so when I can't fulfill that, I'm also thinking through, when you're that multi-passionate person, you're trying to be everywhere for everyone at the same time, you're going to experience burnout at some point. That burnout will take you out faster than, when I say fast, like fast, it will take you out of here. And so you don't want to be in that position either. So if you see where I'm going here, the list of things that I do doesn't stop. And in most cases, I am the leader in a lot of the spaces that I'm in. And so as I was thinking through just how I could eliminate something, I realized that I couldn't. I'm preparing for law school right now. I am also preparing for my LSAT, which has been extremely hard to do because if you're a multi-passionate person, then you know when you are trying to do all of these things, hence the podcast name, Doing It All, it is extremely difficult to do it all. It is extremely difficult to say, I am going to spend this amount of time doing this amount of studying for my LSAT when I have all of these other things in my brain. That's why we talked about the tabs at the very beginning. Having 20, 30, 40 tabs in your head is insane. It is not sustainable. It is not something that you can do over time. It is not something that actually works. It's not a model that works, right? And so as I was thinking through this podcast, I'm like, wait, I identify as a multi-passionate person. But let's just call it what it is. I like to do all of these things. I am doing it all. I don't want to stop doing it. But my schedule has to change. The way that I show up to the world has to change. And I'm not really looking for balance at this point. I'm looking for realignment. I am looking to rebrand my life in a way that allows me to live the life, not just today that I want to live, but I'm setting myself up in my future for the life that I want to live. I love people saying, I'm just going to have a little extra audacity. No, I have a whole lot of audacity in this season. And I am super excited to share this journey with you guys because I also want you to pull your paper and pen out as I start to walk through these other episodes and have guests with me. I'm also going to pull in some very inspiring guests who are making it happen, that have multi-passionate mindsets like myself, and really just start diving into how we're going to get this done. Because I don't believe that if God places it inside of you at some point that you shouldn't birth it. It'll be that thing in the back of your head all the time. And if you're like me, I don't want this baby to sit inside of me forever and never be birthed out. I just don't. I want to be able to birth things, but I realize I cannot birth everything all at once. There is no possible way to birth it all at once. Now, some people do give birth to multiple babies at once. We know that's possible. However, it's difficult. And you want to maintain your sanity through this process. You want to maintain your motivation because it becomes extremely unmotivating if you cannot complete one task at a time. Here is my invitation to you. I invite you into this space to explore how we're doing it all, and we're doing it all intentionally. And if this sounds like you, stay with me because let me tell you, I will not spend my life not having what I believe I deserve. I also will not spend my life having so many things on my plate that I can't complete one thing. I will not live my life like that. I will live my life intentional, with structure, with a schedule that allows me time to rest, that I can schedule joy, schedule time that rejuvenates me to show up and be my best in the spaces in which God calls me to. So if you're that person, if you're that multi-passionate person that says, I too want to live out the life and the dreams that I am called to do, because I don't want to say I want to do. If God placed it in you, now I'm not saying everything that you want to do is what God is calling you to do, but what I am saying is that if he places something inside you and you know that God has placed it inside of you, for instance, one of my big ones is I love to help people. I love to teach people. I love to grow people. I love to build capacity in people. That is just something that God has gifted me to do. And so if he's gifted me to do that, I have come to the conclusion that in every realm that God places me, I have to find how to do it. It's not about you can't do it. You may not be able to do it all at the same time. You may have to give some things more time and then leave some things off to the side. You may have to prepare in some seasons for one thing and execute in another season. If you are looking to glow up, rebrand, rebuild, or just realign your life, you are in the right place. You are in the right place because I'm not going to let myself go down a path where I don't live out the life that God wants me to. I don't want to be 50 saying, oh man, I wish I would have did this in my 30s. Now, we all know that there's going to be things that we reflect on and we say, I should have done this better or I could have done this better. I did a great job. I am so proud of what I don't regret anything. I love hearing those people that say, I don't regret anything, because it's made me who I am. It has taught me what I'm doing now. It is what makes me keep going every single. I want to be that person. And if you are that person, trust me, you are not going to do this alone. We're going to do it together. So follow along. Make sure you're subscribed to all the channels. Right now, just pause, take a pause. Please go subscribe on our YouTube channel. You can find me at Rebecca S. Francis, Doing It All podcast. We are going to dive into our YouTube for those girlies that like a visual, but we'll also be on Spotify and on Apple. And you'll catch your clips on TikTok and follow us on TikTok and all the things above. I'll have all of that linked below. You are in the right place. And I am excited to bring you on this journey because we're going to accomplish all of the things that God has called us to do. So see you soon.